So I'm going to give you guys a few tips on how to understand information and how to apply it in your own life and turn it into knowledge that's useful to you. Hi, I'm Dr. Lauren Hanna. For those of you just joining the page, I am a therapist and I specialize in treating trauma. Have you ever heard of the term epistemology? So, funny story, big word. My very first semester of my doctoral program, super excited, and I get my syllabus and it's got that word on there, epistemology. And I literally said to myself, oh shit, how did they let me in this program? I don't even know what the word means. So I quickly do what a lot of people do and I run over to Dr. Google and I Google the word and I'm like, okay, so I get the definition and I'm like, they're going to figure out really quickly that I do not belong in this program. I don't even know what the words mean, but here we go. And I showed up to the class, and as we begin to talk about this term and how we were going to study it for an entire semester, slowly but surely my classmates started to reveal that they actually didn't know the term either. And all of us, there was 25 of us, had actually Googled this term and had the same exact thoughts. So what is the purpose of it? That epistemology, by definition, is the theory of knowledge. What distinguishes justified beliefs versus opinion? And in our world today, that is a more important question than ever. How do we build upon knowledge? How do we know when something works and when it doesn't? How do we know it's reliable or valid? And so epistemology is the study of that. So now that you know what epistemology is and you've heard my little funny story, how does it apply? Well, it stands out to me now that our very first semester was spent learning how to take in information, how to synthesize that information, and how to decide if it was useful or not useful. And that ultimately, in simple terms, is what we're all doing every day on a lot of different subjects. So doctoral students studying this, when they're learning how to go deep into clinical assessment and diagnosis and the treatment of mental health conditions, I think is really telling because it's the foundation. It is literally the building block of how we do what we do. On this page, we're talking about treating trauma, and where I start with patients and where I start with even myself when I'm learning something new is, okay, what do I want to know and why do I want to know it and how is it helpful? So I'm going to give you guys a few tips on how to understand information and how to apply it in your own life and turn it into knowledge that's useful to you. So number one, I want you to ask yourself, who said it? What authority do they have to say it? What's their background? What's their experience? Are they just loud? Are they just saying things? Or do they have the background and the credentialing to be able to say what they're saying? Because in the world of the internet, that's really, really important. Number two, how do they know this information? Is it based on evidence? Is it based on experience? Is it based on research? Or is it just like vibes? Those are really important questions to ask. Number three, what is missing? Does it leave out context, the information that someone is sharing? Does it leave out context? Does it leave out nuance? And by nuance, we mean complexities. Everything isn't asked and answered. There are different pieces of information that make it useful or not useful based on the scenario. Number four, why are they saying it? Is it for profit, persuasion, manipulation? What is the purpose of it? So in summary, guys, the four things that you need to remember when you're deciding if information is reliable, if it's applicable to your life, whether you're listening to me or whether you're talking to someone in person, anywhere on the internet, the four things that are just the starting point to ask is who's saying it, how do they know it, what's missing from it, and why are they saying it? I'm going to give you an example that always has struck me. Dr. Andrew Wakefield is one of the researchers widely known to have linked autism to vaccines. Now, he's been widely discredited due to ethical violations and financial ties to the people who paid for the research. And now more and more research has come out to absolutely obliterate that claim. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that still believe that because one person said it and it was said loudly and it was widely published and it was widely pushed out. We live in a world where everything is sensational. Journalism has lost its integrity in a lot of places, and I'm not a journalist. I am a therapist trying to treat trauma, but a big challenge of my job is the misinformation that gets put out there, whether it's by a journalist, whether it's by bad research, or whether it's by politicians who have absolutely no idea what they're talking about and putting themselves in the middle of things that they don't need to. That frustrates me as a provider, because what I want is just to see my people get to where they want to be. Symptom reduction, a life that they want to live, their goals met. It all comes back to the person in the work that I do. And I will walk through all of these things we've talked about with them. It would be a little easier if we could all synthesize our information, whether it's what we're putting out or what we're taking in. So wrapping all that up, good information isn't just about what's said, it's about how it's built. And that is epistemology in real life. You don't have to remember the word, just remember what you need to know. And also shout out to Google for getting me through that first day of my DSW program. It was solid.